We're here in West Sumner with Elery Keene, and he's just written a book. And it's in bookstores across Maine and New England and whatever. And why don't you tell us a little bit about how this came about?
Well, this book has a story in it that developed when I was playing Dungeons and Dragons with magic and 7 or 8 people, depending on how many showed up at a particular Friday night. We met every Friday nights to play, and I took notes on the game, and later on I took the notes and used them as a basis for writing this book, Searching for Sarah's Father, and made some changes when I thought I could make it better. So it's not exactly what happened in our game, and that doesn't matter. I tried to make it an interesting story.
So instead of having a game come out of a book, you had a book come out of a game.
Yes, but the game probably came from a book too. but the story, the basic story, was determined by the game master and by the various individuals that were playing a role for a character in the game.
So this all dates back to when was this game originate?
Well, I think I was playing in the 1990s, maybe.
1990s.
Yeah, maybe some of it in the late 1980s. So I didn't write it up as a book. That's not what I had in mind. But I had the notes, and I felt like writing, so I did.
So does this read like a story?
It is a story, yes. It tells a story about these several, the number of changes, but 7 characters at part of the time taking on a mission that was given to them by Sarah Swift to try to find her father, Robert Swift, who had gone away on a trip and didn't come back, and had been sending messages back to his daughter, Sarah, but she stopped getting the messages, so she got worried and tried to find some people, friends of her father, who would volunteer to go and try to find him. And as it turns out, none of those friends actually showed up to do this, but they each sent another person, usually a son or a daughter, to do it instead, because they were so busy doing what they normally did, they didn't feel they could take the time to go and do it. So these 7 people who didn't know each other, had never met each other before, show up on an evening dinner event, and Sarah Swift tells them they don't know until then what the mission really is. They just know that they've been told to come and help Sarah do something that she needs to get done. They don't know that it's her father that's missing until she tells them.
So this possibly could have had many different types of endings to it.
Yes.
And
And I'm not going to tell you the ending of this book.
Oh, well, is there another book that might come later?
Well, when I first wrote the book, I decided it was too long, and it would be better if it were 2 books. So I have written the second book and sent that to the publisher, and it should be available soon. And the name of that book, unless I'm convinced to change the name, would be An Amulet That Disguises. And the reason that they wanted to have an amulet disguises, actually they found one, they didn't expect to find one, they didn't know that they existed until somebody offered it to them, was because they were going to have to go into a national territory on the island of Morgana, where only human creatures were allowed to be there, and animals, of course. But some of the other races that lived on the island were not allowed ever to cross the river to be inside that nation. And so, since one of the characters was a dwarf looks so different from a human being that it would be virtually impossible to be disguised by wearing different clothing or anything like that. But someone named Sparrow offered the dwarf, whose name is Reuben Huskins, an amulet that would disguise, and made him look absolutely like a human being.
So this contains
taller, thinner, and good looking.
So this, where can we get these amulets? They sound like pretty good things to get.
Well, as far as I know, there's only that one that exists. But if you go to Morgana, you might be able to find it.
I see. So it's some wizardry and wizards and mystical type of things are in the book?
Yes, it's a tale of magic and mystery. And almost every one of these characters has something that is magic. One of them does not, doesn't believe in magic, but the others do, and if they think magic can help them, they will use it. Matter of fact, after going to Sarah's house and finding out what the mission is, the next thing that they do in this book is go to Lady Lucy's magic shop to see what magic she might have that they want to buy to help them complete their mission. Each one of them is going to be given 250 gold pieces for doing the mission, and Sarah has given each one of them 50 gold pieces in advance to help pay for any costs that they might have while they're trying to carry it out. They might have to stay at an inn somewhere, buy food, all kinds of things. But they spend some of it buying magic at Lady Lucy's magic shop.
Well, thank you very much. We'll be looking forward to seeing this in bookstores near you all across Maine.
And across the country.
Across the country. Thank you very much.
Thank you.